Hi everyone, welcome to Keep Calm and Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this cute and cuddly heart cushion with arms and legs. For this tutorial you're going to need plush yarn in red and grey, DK yarn in black and white for the finer details, and I'm going to be working this project with a 5.5mm crochet hook. In addition to this, you're going to need a stitch marker, darning needle, pair of scissors, fibre fill, and 20mm security eyes. So make sure you've got all of those components. Now before you start, if you enjoy watching my tutorials, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. We're going to start off with a little strand of red yarn. This can be double knit yarn, it could be anything really, because we are only going to be using this to avoid having a gap in the middle of the stitches. Sometimes when you're using plush yarn and if you try to tighten it, this doesn't close off perfectly. So by doing this, you will avoid that. So once you worked your slip knot with double knit yarn, grab your plush yarn, slip your hook inside this slip knot and pull up a loop like this. Hold the tail end down and work a single crochet. Pull the tail end down further and this will tie a knot in place. Now we're going back into that same slip knot, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both. That's my first single crochet of this round. I'm going to be working 8. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and my 8th one. Once you have your 8 single crochets, you're going to grab these 2 strands, the double knit yarn strands, and pull them to close the gap. So you simply pull them tightly and this will close the gap perfectly for you. I am now going to tie a knot in place one more time so that's 100% secure. And once you've done that, the gap has fully disappeared, perfectly disappeared. From here, you're going to slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and pull up a loop from there to work your first single crochet of round 2. Going back into that same stitch to work another single crochet. Now when you work 2 single crochets in the same stitch, it's called an increase. We're going to be working 8 increases in this round. Here's my second increase. Third increase. Fourth increase. Fifth. Sixth. Seventh, and my final increase number 8. This brings your stitch count to 16. Once you've done that, you're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in the next stitch. From here, I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of my round and to keep an accurate stitch count. If you don't have that, you can use a strand of double knit yarn, you can use a paper clip or even a safety pin. Follow this single crochet on with an increase in the next stitch. And here's your repeat for this round. We are going to work 1 single crochet, followed on with an increase, 1 single crochet, followed on with an increase, and repeat that all the way around until you get to this point here. So go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, stitch count is 24. Let's start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, followed on with an increase in the next stitch. So 2 single crochets in that same stitch here. Let's don't forget the stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3, there we are. And here's your repeat for this round, 3 single crochets followed on with an increase, and repeat that all the way around. This combination you should be able to fit 6 times to get to the end of this round. So go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, stitch count is 30. Let's start the next round by working 4 single crochets in a row. That's my first stitch. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. Second, third and fourth, followed on with an increase in the next stitch. And here's your repeat for this round, 4 single crochets, followed on with an increase, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 36. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. And we're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 36 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 3 times more to have 4 rounds of just single crochet. So go ahead, work 4 rounds of single crochet and then meet me back here. At the end of 4 rounds of single crochet, stitch count is still 36. And this is what one of the bumps of this heart are going to look like. We are going to now finish off by working a slip stitch in the next stitch. Let's grab our scissors and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. And there we go. And that is the curved part of the heart done. You're going to follow the same instructions one more time and make another identical bump like this, but this time you're going to leave the stitch attached and not going to work a slip stitch, because we're going to continue working on this heart from there together. So go ahead, work another one of these and then meet me back here. I've now got 2 of these top parts of the heart. We are going to now connect the 2 together with a slip stitch and then continue working on them as one. Take the stitch marker off. We're going to work a slip stitch in our first stitch, or the stitch where we finished. So slip your hook in there like this, and let's pull up a loop from there and make that loop go through the loop that's already on your hook. So that is now attached. Even if I let go, they are perfectly attached. From here, you're going to start working on one of these curves. So making sure you're working on the right side. So if you started working here, the wrong side stitches will be on the outside. So I'm going to grab this one, catch the next stitch, which is here, and work a single crochet there. I'm going to follow that single crochet on with a single crochet. Let's put the stitch marker first. So we're going to follow that single crochet on with a single crochet in all of these stitches. I'm going to be working 33 of those all together on one side. So we have currently got 36 stitches. We've connected one of them. We're going to be working 33 single crochets, leaving 2 stitches out here. So let's work on this together. Last few stitches left now. This is where we have attached the 2 things together. I'm going to leave these 2 stitches and then work my final stitch that's here. So you're leaving 2 stitches on this side of the bump. I'm going to do the same here as well. Leave 2 stitches from where we've connected. This is where the connection is. I'm leaving this stitch and this stitch. And then I'm going to continue working single crochets on the other side as well. So that's my first one here. I'm going to work 33 all together, and they should take me all the way to the starting point. Last few stitches left now, and here's the last one. Now once you've worked all your stitches, this should leave you with a stitch count of 66. And you will notice that there is a little gap between your stitches, but that's perfectly fine because we will stitch that up right at the end. Now we're going to move on to the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, and we're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around on both of these humps. So altogether you're going to need 66 single crochets to work this and the other side all the way around to finish this round. So go ahead and work that and meet me back when you get to this point here. At the end of this round, stitch count is 66. Let's start the next round by working 9 single crochets in a row. Here's my first. Let's put the stitch marker in place. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and my ninth one. Once you have your 9 single crochets in a row, we're going to start working a decrease. To work a decrease, you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 9 single crochets in a row, followed on with a decrease, 9 single crochet, decrease, and we're going to repeat that all the way around until you get to this point here. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. I'm on my last stitch of this round now. We're going to finish off by working a decrease in the last stitch here, and there we go. Now this brings your stitch count to 60. We are now going to start the next round by working 8 single crochets in a row. Here's my first. Stitch marker back in place. Sixth, seventh, and my 8th one. And we're going to follow this on with a decrease. To work a decrease, you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 8 single crochets, followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 54. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. And we're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 54 single crochets in a row. So go ahead and do that and then meet me back here. At the end of this round of single crochets, stitch count is still 54. Let's start the next round by working 7 single crochets in a row. There's my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and my 7th one. Follow this on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your combination for this round. 7 single crochets, followed on with a decrease. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 48. Let's start the next round by working 6 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Follow this on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 6 single crochets, followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 42. Let's start the next round by working 5 single crochets in a row. followed on with decrease. To work this, you're going to slip a hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. In the stitch after that, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 5 single crochets, followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around until you get to this point. At the end of this round, stitch count is 36. Now, before we start the next round, we're going to take a minute and insert some security eyes into this pillow if you wish to. If you are going without the eyes, that's totally fine as well. So the size that I've chosen is 20 millimeters. We've got security backing with this as well. You're going to be inserting this one round above where you've just finished. So use the center or the middle part of this heart as your guideline. I'm going to pull this stitch out so I can use my hook. There we go. So that's the guideline here. It's right in the middle. I'm going to count 4 stitches across and then insert this eye. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is going in the 5th stitch. Right there. Go do the same thing on the other side as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 5th stitch right there. So once you have inserted the eyes in, you're going to double check that you're happy with the positioning. And no, that was perfect. And I am happy with the positioning. You're gonna go ahead and take the backing and pop that on. And there we go. We're now going to continue the next round. So start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker in place. Follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So to finish this round, you're going to need 36 single crochets in a row. Go ahead and do that and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, stitch count is 36. We're now going to start the next round by working 4 single crochets in a row. And once you have your 4 single crochets, you're going to follow this on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 4 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. Now, as you can see, the gap between the stitches is reducing drastically with each and every round. So go ahead and fill this space up really nice and well with fiber fill. Finish this round and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count is 30. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. Going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 30 single crochets in a row. Go ahead and do that and then meet me back here. At the end of this round of single crochets, stitch count is still 30. Let's start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. Stitch marker back in place. Follow these 3 single crochets on with a decrease. And here's your repeat for this round. 3 single crochets followed on with a decrease. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 24. Let's start the next round by working 2 single crochets in a row. Stitch marker back in place. And we're going to follow these 2 single crochets on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 2 single crochets followed on with a decrease. I'm going to repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 18. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. And we're going to be having a round of just single crochets, and this time around you're going to need 18 single crochets to finish this round. Go ahead and do that and then meet me back here. At the end of this round of single crochets, stitch count is still 18. Let's start the next round by working 4 single crochets in a row. There's my first, second, third and fourth, followed on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And here's your combination for this round: 4 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and you should be able to repeat that 3 times all together in here. And for the last time, 4 single crochets followed on with a decrease. This brings your stitch count to 15. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. And we're going to be having a whole round of just single crochet to complete this round. So once you have your stitch marker on, follow that single crochet on with a single crochet in each and every one of these stitches. In total, you will have 15 single crochets in a row. Last stitch here. Stitch count is still 15. Let's start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. Here's my first single crochet, stitch marker back in place, second, third, followed on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook again, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go, and there's your combination for this round: 3 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. Go ahead and work that. Fill this space up really nice and well with fiber fill, and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, stitch count is 12. Let's start the next round by working 2 single crochets in a row. Stitch marker back in place, and follow these 2 single crochets on with a decrease. And here's your combination for this round. It's 2 single crochets, 1, 2, followed on with a decrease, and we're going to repeat it 3 times to complete this round. Next round, we're going to start, you should have a total of 9 stitches at this point. Going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, followed on with a decrease in the next stitch. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops that you had on your hook. Again, we're repeating this same method 3 times, or the combination 3 times. There's my second time, and one more time, single crochet followed on with a decrease. Now this brings your stitch count to 6. We're going to take a minute and stuff the last and final bit with fiber fill. Let's not lose the stitch, so pull this out a little bit more so you don't lose it. and stuff this up, the last bit that we've just worked, with fibre fill. Make sure to stuff it nice and well, especially on the sides as well. We don't want it to just go on the top. We want it to go all the way around. And once you are happy with it, you are going to grab your hook again, put the stitch marker. Oh, let's sort this out. There we go. Let's get the stitch marker out. You should have a total of 6 stitches at this point, and we're going to finish and close this gap off by working 3 decreases. Slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. In the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, all 3. That's my first decrease. We're working 3 of those all together. Let's see if I can fit this under the camera. There we go, the second. And my final decrease. And there we go. Now the gap is so tiny that we can just simply slip our hook in the opposite stitch from where we have just finished and work a slip stitch in there like this. Let's grab our pair of scissors, snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch, gently pull this down to secure this in place, and we can now slip our hook from further away, make it come out from that very same stitch, loop that yarn onto your hook and pull this into the body. And there we go. Once you've done that, you are going to slip your hook in the top part and push the fibre fill down into that pointy part. I'm going to do that on this side as well, so it gets distributed evenly. And once you've done it, you can give the whole thing a little squeeze or a massage so it retains its shape and the fibre fill is distributed evenly. There we go. Let me zoom out a little bit for you. Now that's the main part of the love heart done. Moving on to the next component. Now onto the legs, and for this we're going to start off with the boot. So whatever colour you would like for that, I've chosen this grey colour. Work a slip knot and chain 2. Skip your first chain and work. So slip your hook in the second chain from your hook. Pull up a loop. First single crochet in the second chain from your hook. Going to be working 7 of those all together. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Once you have your 7 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. And this brings your stitches nice and close together. We're going to be working in spirals. So for this, slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round to start round 2. Here's my first single crochet of round 2. Let's start using our stitch marker to keep an accurate stitch count. From here, you're going back into that same stitch to work an increase. So we're going to be having 7 increases in this round. And here's my last increase. Stitch count is 14 at this point. Let's start the next round by working 1 single crochet in the first stitch, stitch marker back in place, follow this single crochet on with an increase in the next stitch, and here's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase, single crochet, increase, repeat that all the way around until you get to this point here. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here at the end of this round. Stitch count is 21. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, and we're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 21 single crochets in a row. And last 2 stitches left. Now stitch count at this point is still 21. We're going to start the next round now by working 6 single crochets in a row. So there's my first single crochet, stitch marker back in place, second, third, fourth, fifth, and my 6th one. Now in this round we're going to be shaping the boot, so we're going to work a few decreases. Follow these 6 single crochets on with decreases, 5 of them in a row. So slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's my first decrease. Second decrease, third decrease, fourth decrease, decrease number 5. Once you have your 5 decreases, you should be left with 5 stitches, and we're going to be working a single crochet in each of those. Second, third, fourth, and my 5th one. We are now going to take a second and turn this the right way around so that the neater part of the stitches is on the outside. Stitch count at this point is 16. Let's start the next round by working a decrease in our first stitch. There you go, like this. Let's put the stitch marker back on. Follow this on with 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to have 3 decreases next. 1 decrease, second decrease, and the third one. Now you should be left with 4 stitches, and you're going to work 4 single crochets in them. And there we go. This finishes this round, and your stitch count at this point is 12. We're now going to work our next round by working a decrease in our first stitch. And we're going to be working 6 decreases in this one. You can put the stitch marker on or you can leave it, it's up to you. Here's my second decrease. Third. Fourth. fifth, and my sixth decrease. And there we go. Once we've finished our decreases, we've got 6 decreases here now. We're going to work a slip stitch in the next stitch to fasten off with this color, because we're going to be changing that over to red now. Snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. And there we go. And now that is done, you are going to stuff this up with some fiber fill first. And once we've done that, then we're going to grab our red yarn, attach it onto any of the top stitches. It can be anywhere really, it doesn't make any difference. Pull up a loop, hold the tail end down and chain 1 to attach. Pull this strand down and that will tie a knot in place. Going back around that same stitch to pull up a loop and work your first single crochet there. I'm going to be working 6 single crochets to go all the way around here. Here's my second, third, fourth, fifth, and my final stitch here. Let's move the tail ends out of the way and then work that strand. And the last stitch here now, finally. And that's my 6th one. Let's stuff all of these tail ends on the inside of this boot. And from here on, we are going to be working on the leg. So we're going to be working 9 rounds of single crochets all together. So we've worked 1 here. We have started the second one. We're going to finish that off with 6 single crochets. Take the stitch marker off and then start round 3 and then 4 and so on until you have 9 rounds of single crochet with 6 single crochet in each round. Go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. At the end of 9 rounds of single crochet, this is what the foot and the leg should look like. We are now going to work a slip stitch in the next stitch to fasten off. Let's snip this yarn off, leaving a long tail. Pull it out of the stitch and pull this down because we're going to be using this to sew the leg onto the body. And there we go. One of the legs are complete. You're going to follow the same instructions and make another one of these. Now onto the arms, and for this let's grab our grey yarn and work a slip knot and chain 2. Skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. There's my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and my 6th one. Once you have your 6 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. And there we go. Once you've done that, you're going to start working in a spiral. Slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and work an increase in there. That's my first stitch, going back into the same one to work another single crochet. So that's increase number 1. We're going to be working 6 increases in this round to complete it. Here's my second increase, third, fourth, fifth, and my final increase number 6. Stitch count at this point would be 12. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. I'm going to start using a stitch marker from here on to identify the start of my round and to keep an accurate stitch count. Follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 12 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method one more time to have 2 rounds of just single crochet. So go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet, stitch count is still 12. Let's start the next round by working 2 single crochets in a row. 1, 2. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. We're going to follow these 2 single crochets on with a decrease. To work a decrease, you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. In the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And there's your combination for this round. 2 single crochets, followed on with a decrease, 2 single crochets, followed on with another decrease. So you should be able to fit this combination 3 times altogether. And stitch count at this point is 9. Going to start the next round by working a puff stitch in the first stitch here. To work a puff stitch, you're going to yarn over your hook, slip your hook in that next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through first 2 only. That's my first, it's almost like a half incomplete double crochet. So that's first one. We're going to work 5 of those. Yarn over, going back into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through first 2. Yarn over, back into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through first 2. We've done that 3 times. Going to do it 2 more times. All in that same stitch. And for the final time, and there we go. Now once we've done this, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on your hook. Going to yarn over, pull through all 6 loops in one go. Chain 1 just to close that off, and then we're going to anchor that down by working a single crochet in the next stitch. Let's make sure we catch the right stitch, because sometimes this puff stitch is so wide that the other stitch next to it is hidden. So there we go. Now that once you've done this, it will protrude this part out, and that's the thumb. So including this single crochet, we're going to have 8 of those all together. So that was the first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and my 8th one right here. Now you'll notice we are back to the starting point, which was the puff stitch. That's where we started the round. And the glove or the arm is, or the hand is shaping up perfectly from here. So last round of this grey stitches. To work this, you're going to move that puff stitch down like this. And then you're going to catch the top part where we work the chain 1. Let's try to do that. There you go. And work your first single crochet in there. That's it. That's my first single crochet. I'm going to put the stitch marker back in place. And we're going to follow that single crochet on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And we're going to repeat that combination 3 times. 1 single crochet, followed on with a decrease, 1 single crochet, and a decrease in the next. This finishes our round and brings our stitch count to 6. Let's take the stitch marker off and finish off with this colour by working a slip stitch in the next stitch, like this. Snip the yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. There we go. And now that I've done this, I'm going to grab my red yarn and we're going to attach that onto any of these stitches. I tend to do that just a little bit further away from where we finished, just to have a smooth transition of colours. Chain 1 and pull this strand down, and that will tie a knot in place for you. And holding that strand down, you're going back into that same stitch to work your first single crochet. Let's stuff all of these strands inside the glove or the hand. And we are now going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So we've got 6 stitches here. We're going to work 6 single crochets to finish this round. And once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 8 times altogether to have 8 rounds of just single crochet, just so we can gain some length in this hand. So go ahead, work 8 rounds of single crochet in red, and then meet me back here. At the end of 8 rounds of single crochet, stitch count should still be 6, and this is what the arm looks like. We're now going to fasten off by working a slip stitch in the next stitch. And this time around, we're going to leave a long tail and then snip our yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. And there we go. And that's one of the arms done. You're going to follow the same instructions and make another one of these. Now onto the assembly. And for this, go ahead and thread this part into a darning needle. And we are going to sew the arms and legs in a particular round. So for the legs, you're going to first of all make sure that the boot part is facing right way. So we don't want to attach the legs on the side like that. We want to have the foot facing you. So while the heart is down on the floor or the table, wherever you're working, make sure that the boot is facing you. And from here, I'm going to, so the top part is like that, I'm going to squeeze the top. This stitch could be in the middle for you or on the side. Mine is on the side, so it works out nicely. But even if it's in the middle, you are still going to hold it flat on the top like this. And then, let's move the rest of the stuff out. And get the right side profile of the heart as well. I'm going to be sewing this in just in the fourth, between round 4 and 5. So counter from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in between those stitches, I'm going to attach this leg. To attach it, you're going to catch 1 stitch on the body, pull it through, and let's move this the right way around like this. It will help me. There we are. And catch 1 stitch on the leg as well. But when you're catching the stitches on the leg, make sure that you go from the back and then come out from the front. So you're catching both of them, the front and back of the stitches like this. And catch the next stitch on the body. Because of the camera, it's a little bit difficult for me to catch these stitches. However, it shouldn't be that difficult. There we go. And the last stitch that we need to connect is right here. So we've attached 3 stitches on the leg and 3 stitches on the body together. Let's catch that last and final stitch here one more time, going through that same stitch again, just to make that connection really nice and strong and make the finish nice and flush. And once you've done that, you're going to slip the needle in the same stitch, lift the leg up, get the yarn to come out or the needle to come out from the bottom somewhere underneath the leg. You're going to catch 1 stitch. So I've isolated 1 stitch here like this, and you're going to pull this and create a loop. You are going to then slip your needle inside that loop. Oh, it was already inside. There you go. Inside that loop, and you're going to pull it down, and this creates a knot in place. And luckily for me, the thread snapped after the knot was created, so that's perfectly fine. But if yours goes before, we'll have to do this again. And thread the needle inside the body and make it come out from another side. So I'm just going to neaten this up because the little bits are sticking out. And there we go. That is the leg of this heart. You're going to follow the same instructions and make the other leg, attach the other leg on there. And I'm now going to show you how to do the arms as well. And then you're going to just finish all of that off and then meet me back here. So with the arm, when we're attaching it, obviously we've got this little thumb situation going on. So as you may look at your hands and see, when you put your arms down, the thumbs are in the front. And that's what we want for this little heart as well. So having the thumbs in the front, you're going to attach. So squeeze the top flat. We're going to attach this on the side profile again, so making sure that it goes in the middle. We're going to do that in line with the eye. So that's where you're going to position it. Sewing is going to be identical to the leg. So go ahead. We are going to attach the both arms and the leg, and then meet me back here. Arms and legs are now on, and we are now going to move on to making a little smile for this heart. And I have opted for a cheeky smile that goes on the side, but you can certainly make it to your preference. So to make the same as me, you're going to slip a needle from nearer to the eye, like this. Make it come out 2 rounds below. And from here, you are going to keep this 5 or 4 rounds underneath this one. So I'm going to go 5 rounds below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. And so they are in line with the eyes. Use that as your guidance. This time around, we are going to use the middle point of these 2 lines. So these 2 dots. So I'm going to come out directly in the middle here. And once you've done that, let's show you. So there is a straight line on the top. And I've made it come out from the bottom here. You're going to slip your needle under this line and pull this down, and that will create a smile like that. I'm going back into that same stitch that we've started with, and then you're going to, I want to make a little line at the bottom as well. So pull this down gently, and this will create a perfect smile. I want to have a little line there as well. So I've come out 1 stitch away from where we started and go in 1 stitch away from where the line is. And now guide your needle to come out from the starting point again. And when you gently pull all of this should all fall in place. And there you go. That's the mouth complete. I can now either work on the eyes with the same thread, but I'm going to just get rid of this. So snip the strands of yarn down to a smaller size, tie them in a knot, and slip your hook from further away, make it come out from that stitch, loop those 2 yarns onto the hook and pull this into the head or the body. And there we go. Now that's complete. We can move on to the eyes. And for this, I'm going to create 2 little black lines and white lines on the side. So let's go ahead and thread our darning needle with black yarn first. This time we're going to slip our needle from further away, around here. Make it come out from 1 or 2 stitches away from the eye. So I'm going to go 1 stitch away from the top of the eye. Make it come out as much as you want the little line to be. So from this side, you're going to go the opposite side in front or the middle part of the eye here. Insert your needle there. Guide it to go through some fiber fill and come out from the other side of the eye. So like this. So we've gone from the top 1 stitch away on the other side of the eye, right in the middle. So we're going to repeat the same thing here. So come out from the front, right in the middle, and on the top I'm going to go 1 stitch away, right here. So that's where I'm inserting the needle. Now this point and that point is too far away, so I'm going to make this needle come out from the middle somewhere first, or as far as I can take it, like this. And then we can adjust that. So first, let's take a minute to sort these eyes out. So push these strands up and then pull on the strand that we've just, this one and this one. And that creates the perfect eye. So because this is so far away, we are going to slip that back in to that same stitch. And now it's so much closer to be more precise and make it come out from the same stitch where we want it to come out from, or where the starting point was. Snip this down to a shorter size, and I can now go ahead and tie these into a knot. But before you do that, pull the strands again just to make sure that you are happy with the positioning of the strands. And once you are, you're going to tie them in a knot, and using your hook again, slip in from further away, make it come out from the same stitch, loop those 2 strands on and pull them into the head. If it comes out from here, you can certainly either push it in or you can snip that off. Now, if this part of the strand is being pulled, you can always pull it up like that to make it more exaggerated or more subtle, whatever you fancy there. Now onto the white detail for these eyes. So thread your darning needle with some white yarn, slip your needle in further away and make it come out from the top part or the side of the eye like this. Now if you want to make this heart look like it's looking up, you will have a line underneath. But otherwise, you'll have a line on the side. So this is the look I want to go for. So take the needle out from this side in the middle, insert it this side in the middle. We're going to repeat the process on the other side as well, or with the other eye. So guide this needle to go through some fiber fill and come out from the other side like this, right in the middle. Leave that for now. We'll sort that out in a minute and insert it in the middle again on the other side. Now make this come out from that starting point. Again, if this is too far, take a couple of steps, make it come out from elsewhere first. Go as close as you can and then go back into that very same space, the same stitch, and then guide it to come out from the starting point. This should not affect anything because this should just go inside the body. And like this, it's disappeared. Now, before I tie the knots between these strands, I've gone ahead and snipped it. I am going to now adjust this. So pull whichever one you need to get this like in the perfect position where you want it. Okay, and there we go. They're perfect for me. Now I am going to just pull this a little bit and go ahead and tie a knot between those two strands. Slip your hook from further away, make it come out from that same stitch and pull those strands in to the head as well. Now last and final detail, and that is the top part that is open between between the heart right here. So we are going to take our red yarn again and just sew that up. I'm going to just go ahead and snip this yarn to a shorter size because we're not going to need that much of yarn for it. Just catch one stitch on one side and then catch the other stitch from the other side like this. It's hard to film this with the camera in the front. So just sew this part up, catching one stitch here and then one stitch on the other side. You only have 3 stitches, so you shouldn't take that much time or effort. And once you've done that, I tend to make sure that this is nice and flush. Insert my needle back into that same stitch, make it come out from the front where we started. And then again, you've got 2 strands coming out from the same space. So I'm going to now get rid of the hook, or the needle rather, and tie these in a knot in place. And that secures your thread. I always go for a double knot. There we are. Use your hook or your needle to slip these into the head. And there we go. Let's give all of this a little squeeze so that the fiber fill is distributed evenly. And there you have it. A heart. The little heart man is finished, or woman, or whatever you have decided to make it. If you would like to add an accessory on top of the head, then feel free to maybe add a bow or a hat or whatever you please. But other than that, this little heart pillow cuddly cushion is complete. I really hope you enjoyed making this with me. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.